Welcome back, everybody, to the first crossover episode of the
Techual First one done. I don't know if I've seen a collaborative effort like this before.
We haven't. I'm the first to do everything.
Hey, there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Claim it.
But nah, man. If y'all watching right, y'all know what to do. Follow me, follow them, subscribe, like, hit the bell icon to be notified on everything.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, follow and also leave us a review.
That's good.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a
We
friend.
got the good people from HackerProof today. We got.
Yes, sir.
I was going to be funny and say bye Daniel.
You told me that.
His people will know.
That's my people know.
They
all
know.
my TikTokers know. Baba Daniel.
Yeah.
And we got Victoria.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Vicky O.
I have a few names, but I mean,
What's the one you introduce yourself?
What's your alter ego? The one that you tell people your name when you're out.
VZ.
VZ.
Yeah,
Where
VZ.
VZ come from?
Okay, so back in the day when Chris Brown was like Breezy, Lil Wayne was like Weezy, I was like, okay, I'm VZ.
Okay.
Like,
I get it. I got
and it just stuck with me since like high school. People just call me that. Like,
I got a variation of
Yeah.
my name that's HDZ.
Okay.
HDZ. Oh, period.
Yeah, everybody was putting easy on the last name.
That's what I'm saying.
So. But nah, man, it's been a while. We were supposed to do this.
You know?
What, last year?
Yeah,
whatever
but
stuff. Then
I think we're still too fresh in the industry, so we had to wait. Every time has a time, and I think this time is perfect. So appreciate you want to do this, and just having this collaborative effort out there is wonderful. So appreciate you and appreciate
Yes,
you guys.
thank you
y'all
so
been
much.
working, man. I've been saying, I was like, y'all done had Chris over there. Y'all done had Yasmin. Y'all done had Phantom Marie.
Yeah.
And a lot more to come. So.
Y'all even
Yeah.
had my guy from Chicago pull up, Kevin.
Kevin, you know Kevin?
We
Oh,
talked.
wow.
He's supposed to do the show too. We talked. It's been a minute. I hadn't followed back up in a while.
Yeah,
Kevin-
bring him on.
Kevin's an amazing guy.
Bring him
Kevin is chill.
He has all the TikTok movements down. It's the lotion. Hey, let me tell you here, the hat. I can always tell who knows how to work the short form
Okay.
because they're always doing the same thing. It's the movement.
Hey, well, my man Chris got it down, man. My man Chris
It's a
got it
science.
down. Yeah.
I heard you got a big TikTok.
She's
Yeah.
playing. She's playing.
Yeah, but
Africans know me, but Americans don't know me.
Watch, they'll be in the comments. They'll like when we post videos, they'll come in the comments. Oh, bye, Daniel. Like he has his own like world in TikTok. It's
No.
outside of HackerProof. He has his own
No, it's
like
not-
archetype.
She's just lying.
I'm lying.
Nah, it's actually the people that know me from TikTok probably know me as Baba with phones.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not even Baba Daniel. It's only Baba with phones.
Oh, sorry,
It's
yo.
alright.
But they'll be there.
Baba sound like a person that like to get sections in the club.
No, I'm grown past that. I make mature choices. Investment.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna grow your funds. Maybe when I was
with the
younger,
funds.
I don't mind buying a drink. Actually, Houston is that lifestyle. If you stay in Houston,
Houston's not a real place. I had to get up out of there.
really.
Ooh. Oh, you used to be there?
When I went to Afrotech, I had to get up out of there.
Oh,
On
girl.
Sunday morning, I got on the highway. You're supposed to stay in Houston on Sunday. I had to
Still
go.
Monday, yeah.
I had to go in the morning.
Hey, you know what y'all
I
be
was-
doing
You
couldn't
with y'all
do
big
it?
I was done.
You couldn't do it. Houston got you,
I was done. To get there on a Wednesday, I was done.
girl. The Saturday was when even we.
Quick question. What is so bad about Houston?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was a lovely time. I had
Yeah.
too much fun.
She was just tired.
That's why I had to come home.
Yeah.
I had to come realign myself.
Yeah, honestly, the Sundayers are the ones that just don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
Cause like by Saturday evening, we've
I
done
was
what
ready
we
to
had
go
to do
Saturday
Yeah.
evening.
So
Yeah.
I know what you mean. The Sundayers are the ones that just they can't stop.
Yeah.
they can't stop.
And I didn't know that. Well, I went there last year for my bachelorette, but I didn't know that y'all do it like that all day Sunday. I thought it was a
Somebody did it
brunch
for you.
midday
No, ma'am.
situation.
No, ma'am.
When I called to get section details, they was like, for the morning or night, and I was like, at
Yes,
night.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
At night?
Yeah,
Yeah, Houston's
that's when it
not a real
even.
place.
Yeah, sorry.
Y'all don't go to
this-
sleep.
We don't.
That's why I had to go home.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you're someone who's trying, I shouldn't even say this
You should
because
say it. That's true.
if you're someone who's trying to, build something and not party a lot, Houston's not the place for you. But if you're someone who
Yeah.
likes that lifestyle of pure entertainment, going out, staying out to 5 a.m., Houston is the right place for you.
I'll say this too. I feel like Houstonians are people that have things going for themselves, but we don't lead with our careers. Like I feel like in Dallas, DC, or wherever, they lead with like, oh, I'm a GRC analyst. I'm a this.
I think they
have
do that in
this.
DC. I don't really see that much here.
I've seen it in Dallas a little bit. Like
Might
some
be the
people,
new people. Like I've been here for a while.
No, Dallas is more of a corporate capital, almost like a corporate capital in Texas.
yeah, it's the corporate Texas.
Yeah.
So like they lead with what they do.
We buy like all the big four spots, like all like
So PWC.
PwC, KT.
See, yeah, you guys have all the
this over there.
Salesforce.
Goldman Sachs is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, but I'm a person. I never cared about wearing my badge out to show you where I worked. Because one,
Same.
I believe in security, so I don't want you to know where I
I
work.
don't want you to know. Thank you.
That's
yeah,
true.
but some people they lead. That's like their MO is I do this at this. What do you do?
It helps
It's
them
like-
also, so it's not anything negative about that. It's just how people.
Yeah,
people
I know
are
what say if
different.
I met you, oh yeah, cool, what you do? But
Yeah.
it wouldn't be, oh, I'm so and so. It's kind of like once we got into talking, like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing that. Shit,
Yeah.
I might even tell you that. So, oh yeah, I got a podcast.
I gotta ask you one thing, because
exactly.
you guys have had a lot of people that you guys have interviewed and had the episode with. How's people compared to like DC people compared to like people from Texas when you guys do the interview? How are their personalities?
You know what? I can't even recall how many people say natively from Texas. To be honest,
Most people I meet are not from
From
Texas.
Texas.
They migrated here for better opportunity.
Okay, let me ask this one then. How Atlanta compared to like DC?
That's an interesting.
Atlanta respectfully gives me
scammer vibe.
it gives me love and hip hop housewives, like always. I don't even know the word. I just know that
You
it's
talking about the place or the
absolutely
people?
not
Like
No, I'm talking about
performative or like what do you
not
mean?
performative. It's just the culture. They're very. I don't want to say trendy, but to me, I don't like it because you can't tell what's real and what's fake.
Gotcha.
Like, because you have people who
good
really
one.
do live this life, and then you have people who are fronting.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's difficult to understand
Decipher like who is who.
who's doing what.
Yeah.
And I want to know what I'm doing and who
Yeah.
I'm with, and
Yeah, I think it's a place for a person that wants to build like a persona for themselves and live off of that, and that's fair. If I lived in Atlanta, I probably would have to put up a front too to kind of get into certain rooms and meet certain people because they probably won't respect you unless you had a certain demeanor and
the
whatever about
notoriety.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
about you. So
I was referring to corporate lifestyle, like Atlanta compared to DC, but
I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't know. I do see like DC has always like a lot of tech events and stuff going on, mixers and stuff like that. Now I got some friends in the ATL that actually be here next month. They normally have stuff that's going on out here. I mean, honestly, stuff that's going on out here too, but I be so busy, man. Outside of doing this and creating content and coaching clients, I be in the house.
that's true.
yeah,
I had to rest up to say if we're gonna do something and go all day.
The weekdays be busy.
They
Most of
Man,
the people who
the
are
weeks
working.
are
Think about
long.
Yeah.
The days.
toddlers and kids. We just talking about Miss Rachel and Miss Monica and all these other different things that you
Yeah.
got to worry about, and now getting other kids into school. It's a lot. Like thinking about meeting people at events is the last thing. If I ever go, like the one time I went to Mixer Cloud, it was strictly because I wanted to get some like probably people to come on the show, and I think
Really?
I might have found one or two people. Maybe.
I haven't been in
Good.
a long time.
Everybody else was there. No, go ahead.
How do the Houston Mixer Clouds hit? It looks like Dallas has a lot more people, but I've seen that the Houston, their
Tech
mixers,
community,
it
Yeah.
looks like it's growing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is growing. The last one I went to, it had a good turnout. They had a really, really good turnout, and I saw familiar faces, new faces. I really enjoyed the way they set it up. But I think Houston is developing its corporate persona, like corporate tempo or something like that. So
Dirty South.
yeah, we're used to like, socializing, like going there to mingle, hunt, things like that. So I feel like we're now transitioning into where we go in there with a purpose and a plan to be intentional about
Do you
career.
still go to the Galleria?
No, I'm done with the gallery.
Galleria?
Unless I have a specific thing I need to get from there, it's just not the gallo it used to be.
The last time I stayed there, I stayed at the Regency.
I did too, and I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
It was very easy for me to get around.
Yeah, that's a good essential point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the gallows for the YNs now. Like the YNs have taken over the Galleria.
Jesus.
Hey, get it, Deontay.
Yeah, like all my YNs, you know what I mean? Like y'all took it over. Like I'm talking, you park your car and before you go in there, somebody already hustling you out of like $1 or something. Like,
Oh, so they try to be like Atlanta, selling water boys and stuff like that.
yeah, like on the street or rolling dice and here, or
do that?
yeah, like or what is the game where like they'll be like, oh, pick a card or something, or
Okay.
guess which one is under the cup, like things like that, just hustling you out of $1 before you can get into the mall.
I ain't mad at it. You do the math.
Yeah, I mean they're making money.
That's why I said, like, out here, when I moved out here, I started seeing, like, so many more homeless people. And I started doing the math on, like, who I thought was actually homeless and who wasn't. And I was like, if about 30,000 cars pass through here and about, 3% of them give them $1 to $5.
It's a lot of money.
They ain't have to work.
They're making, that's a
I
hustle
be
on
seeing
its
people
own.
out there panhandling. They got full clothes on. Not that you got to look dirty, but they don't look like they're needing anything. They look like that sign is fresh and clean, and you just walked out the house and you wrote on it. For real.
That reminded me of TikTok I seen where a dude was like,
Shoot.
when you trying to walk into the store, somebody's panhandling you, and it's supposed to be a homeless person, but they had a printout of a Cash App QR code.
It's crazy.
Maybe he was short on rent.
Hey, look, when
he just needed some rent.
When he walked up, he told the man his phone was dead. But when he went in the store, he paid with tap to pay, and the man came in and looked at him, gave him that look. He was like,
Now he clocked him.
I think I was just telling someone that this morning. Even in Nigeria, some people who are beggars in the streets are millionaires. So it doesn't really matter. They just it's a front.
Yeah.
It's a front. Yeah, people are hustling. It's just their way of hustling.
Yeah.
Right.
Where the people falling for it? Who's giving them the $1, $2? So who do you blame at the end?
yeah, cool. So this is what we gonna do, guys, because you may not be familiar with them, and then y'all may not be familiar with us on y'all pages. So what we're gonna do is do the round robin and let everybody give a brief intro about themselves. It's like we onboarding at a new job. So we're gonna start off with Daniel.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Let me just get this off me a little bit. Daniel, the founder of HackerProof. We've been running for over close to 1.5 years now, and Victoria is a partner and a co-founder of HackerProof. Victoria, introduce yourself. Let me be quiet.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm happy to be here. Your favorite co-host on HackerProof, Victoria. But for those that don't know me, I'm a GRC analyst. Been working it for a few years now, and I joined the team on HackerProof with Baba Daniel, Ugo, Kimby, Kobe. Shout out to the team, and we've been running it since. And yeah. That's my introduction. I don't know what else I need to shout out, but
By the way, I missed that part. I'm going to add it since Vicky added it. Also, cloud security space.
yeah.
My turn. Hi, everyone. If you have not seen my lovely face, I'm CyberShortiee, and I am a security cloud solution architect by day and a cybersecurity instructor at night. And on the weekends, I do content for cybersecurity as well. So very busy, but that's a little bit about me. And I am the co-host of your favorite podcast, the Techual Talk.
I liked your intro better. I'm like, I probably should have broken it down.
Over?
Yeah, okay. Let me try.
We can do. I can do.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We're just joking.
Oh, okay. And what's going on, everybody? If you don't know me, I'm HD. I am the host of the Techual Talk podcast. Also, I run the media company Techual Chatter, and I'm also a cybersecurity and career coach for Techual Consulting. And the last decade of my life, I've been in IT and cybersecurity. And I like making friends, and that's what we're doing today. I've been doing this about 5 years, and I got about 15, 20 more in me.
That's good.
Yep.
So I think we should also try this. Maybe we just talk about it a little bit, how we got started in our career, because that's important to know. Because our platform is an educative platform where people are looking to break into the field. Come to us and watch out content to know. So who wants to start it off?
It don't matter. I'm doing read and react like football. So like if I happen to see somebody saying something, I pull back and wait. So
all right. So Daniel, cloud security space, been in it for over 10 years now. All cloud service provider I'm pretty good at. I know how to spin up an instance. And just security and having security conversation is what I'm good at. So that's me.
Hey everybody, so I'm a GRC analyst, everything GRC, compliance, governance, risk, every part of it, third-party risk management, auditing, internal auditing, all the beautiful parts of risk and compliance. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. Like, it sounds crazy to say that, like, that I've been in the space that long, or probably more than 4, honestly. I've lost count, but I started at a law firm got my feet wet there, learned the ins and outs, did the third-party risk management, customer side, auditing side of it. And then I wanted to pivot into a software space because I wanted to be somewhere where I felt like I can learn more, which I definitely have now. So now I work at a IoT company, a SaaS company that has a SaaS offering. And I'm loving it. Like, I've learned so much about, like, the architecture of technology and how the developers work, it's a beautiful time. And so, yeah, GRC, anything you want to know, ask me.
Real quick before Destiny goes, what is SaaS?
Software as a service.
I was asking for the listeners.
Okay.
I thought we were having the quiz. I was trying to feel myself. Which one do I ask you?
No, because I like when I've gone on other platforms and I've kind of explained what I do or whatever, I try to be in mind that may not be familiar with me.
That's
So
true.
if I use an acronym, I like, that stands for such and such, and this is what it does. But yeah.
So, like, when a company offers a software as their primary service to their clients, like which my company does, is SaaS. Yeah.
Alrighty, so I got into this industry because I was tired of being broke.
Oh, that's everybody.
Basically.
Seriously though, I knew the job that I had was not going to be what I was going to do forever. I was like, what's next? So, yeah, that's how I got here. Went back and got my master's in cybersecurity, and I really jump-started my career into the industry. And so I've done a few different things. I've done vulnerability management. I've done technical business management, and now I've done customer success, and now I'm doing the cloud solution architect role.
Let me ask you one question. You say you had your master's in cybersecurity, right? So, is the master's still needed? Like let's say if you're applying for a job and you're trying to get a job, is it good to have your master's like a plus?
I think it depends on the company, the recruiter, their culture. You have the twofold. You have the people who say you don't need the degree. You have the people that say you do need the degree. For me personally, I needed to get the degree because I wouldn't have been able to learn that amount of information in 2 years, period. I needed the structure. I needed the guidance. And everything I learned in my program actually helped propel me in my career.
Yeah.
So if you're speaking to someone in college now and they're looking to get, like, let's say a bachelor's in cybersecurity or some kind of tech-related degree, would you suggest that they go also for a master's in cybersecurity?
I think it depends. I think if you get an undergrad in it, I feel like from that point you might want to get a little bit more specific. I would say get some experience first.
Yeah,
I would never say leave that degree and then jump right, because you might find that you don't want to get a master's in that. Maybe you want to get it in information systems or management, or MBA. You might feel like you want to branch out a bit more. So I would say get some more exposure and experience, do some internships first, and then you can pivot over.
Yeah, because before I agree. I think the experience part is so important. I think people are usually like in a hurry to get their master's after their bachelor so they can be done by da-da-da. But I think you have more, like, you would understand what the people are what your instructor's talking about a lot more once you get your experience, and you will know what program to sign up and pay for because it's not free.
I literally feel that same way. Like if I were to do my master's now versus when I did it 4 years ago, the value that I would have gained from it now that I have that exposure and experience, but I wouldn't have been able to get it without the degree. So I agree there.
I also tell people, hey, like, I'm all for you getting it, but see if you got a company that'll cover the cost.
That's true.
That's what I did.
Because when I was working at McAfee, they were supposed to cover the cost. Like they was paying for a dude to go to SMU, so I knew they could have paid for my school.
That's an expensive school. That's an expensive.
But sadly, they had to reorg, and I was let go. So like every time when I started school, I had a job, so I was like, okay, cool, I do reimbursement here. Then this place happened. I was like, bet I'm only gonna probably have to have a loan, maybe like 2 semesters, and then the rest will be taken care of by them.
I feel like a major of corporations nowadays, they either give you like $2,000 for tuition, or they're trying to help you like tuition reimbursement. So that's an option available at most workplace, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Most companies I've worked at have had it, but it depends. Most of the companies I've worked at have been Fortune 50 and lower, or 500, 200. So if you're working somewhere that doesn't just have that in the budget, then that might not be feasible.
But I would say though, like, that's all part of the scouting process when you want to ask the recruiter about, hey, how do guys feel about educational development? And then that's when they lay it out. Oh, you get $3,000 dedicated to certs. You can get the tuition reimbursement up to $10,000 a year.
That's nice.
You do, like all this type of stuff. You get this stipend or all
Those are
different
great
things.
perks to have.
Yeah,
Great
because
perks.
those companies are the companies that do actually want to invest in people.
Yeah.
So that's why, a lot of times.
I like when they're open with what you can choose. Because I was in a claims specialist role, and I seen a cybersecurity degree under the tuition reimbursement. So I was like, oh, I just don't have to stay and be limited to insurance. Because what if that's not what I want to do long term?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't think I even said what I do, but
I think you're next. We just
Yeah.
Right.
I know I just
You're right.
My bad, y'all.
Nah, y'all good.
No, it was good.
For me, I've been in the industry since really before 2014. So technically, I was doing like IT help desk stuff in the College of Business in 2012, and more specifically, I've been in cyber since 2017. So. Yeah, I'm getting up there.
And it's the experience, though.
Right.
Keeps you in the market. You can easily find the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the SecOps and incident response space. I've actually did a little bit of GRC work when I worked with JP Morgan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got to use Archer and
Oh gosh, I don't want to comment.
and some of the other stuff. But ironically, as I was in my first job here in 2016 at the NOC, that's when I decided to go to grad school. But my master's is not in cybersecurity. It's actually in IT management.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to be more diverse. Because a lot of stuff that I learned, I did at different companies. Like when I did that GRC role, I had to do a lot of meetings, and presenting, and trying to get buy-in for certain things that we worked on in the masters. And so, like, I have people right now on the short I made where I said I'm in favor of masters over bachelors. These fools think I'm saying you can skip a bachelor's to a master's.
Come on, you can't even get a master's without a bachelor's.
But that's what they think. I'm saying I like the structure of how they actually teach you useful stuff.
Because you have to take all those history and
I had just took them in high school.
Especially if you go to a what is the word? If you go to a school that is something arts, I can't think of
liberal
the words.
arts.
Yes, if you go to a liberal arts school, then you do have to take courses that are. I got to theater in undergrad.
Was it fun?
It was.
Okay, see.
I saw a lot of good little plays.
But see, I didn't have to
okay.
take that because in high school I took fine arts and it was a college credit. So like that's the thing is like I wish like dual enrollment became more of a thing after I was gone. Like my little sister has like I think the credits are like a sophomore now.
It was prevalent when I was in school, but it wasn't talked about to where I got the details about it. Because if I would have known, I would have definitely went for it and probably been different in high school.
Because you could just take like my little brother hasn't been in school that long. I think he'll be done next semester or something like that. He'll be making 20 in June. Yeah, he'll be making 20 in June.
Wow.
20 what?
20
years old.
Oh, I thought you said making 20, like making 20, like 20K.
20K or
Oh,
something.
no, I was like,
Yeah, at first I was like, but then I was like, oh.
He'll be 20 in June, but I've been
Okay.
trying to. He got my major, so I've been trying to help him a little bit. But
My sister, she graduated high school with college credit.
Is it AP classes?
It was she did take AP, but she had classes at the local community college.
I'm gonna say this out loud. If you could, I feel like AP. Sorry, I don't want to say it's a scam.
It is a scam.
Okay, it's a scam.
Why do you believe so?
I say that if the better route to go through the dual credit, because the AP exam, first of all, you're not gonna. The exam is really hard. You're not gonna get prepped properly for it. Like depending on your school or your educator or whatever, you're not gonna get the material you actually need to pass this test. You need a 4 or 5 to get the credit. Most likely you're gonna get a 2 or 3 depending on the preparation you got. Because I'm not spending my whole day and night studying AP history, AP push, AP English. I have so many other
and
classes.
I knew people that was in them classes that it didn't really do nothing for them in the long run.
I'm one of them. I took 3.
I took all
credit
AP.
didn't count.
3.
Yeah.
I took one every year, and guess what? For AP Psych, I went to sleep. I didn't even take the exam. When it was time to take the exam, because I knew I wasn't going to get the college credit.
I'm like, let me be for real. I'm not passing this exam.
I knew. I agree with you. But the kids these days in certain areas, they are actually very, very bright in learning the material, and they are passing and getting 4s and 5s. So I feel like it depends on
where you are.
I just felt like it was more of a intellectual flex for a lot of people.
It was.
I took the enriched classes. I didn't care to take the AP classes.
Yeah, I always say the pre-AP.
But I only took the class to get the double credit from the school for that area. That's the only reason.
The GPA booster too. Like when you do AP for our school, like you're down on a 5.0 scale, so like you get to be in the top 10. Because it was helping your GPA versus you being on a 4.0 scale, so that helped as well.
Yeah, I won't lie.
So the
High
flex
school,
was definitely.
I was just trying to pass with a 3 point something and just get done because to me, even though I got a bachelor's and master's, school is not really
your thing.
It's my thing, but it's not my thing. You know, Africans, your parents, you gotta go to school.
You have to go to school.
You gotta VD and pass.
Yeah.
But just beside that, school is not really.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, how did they feel when you said you're gonna do cybersecurity?
I was actually a pre-med student.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was doing pre-med for almost 2 years. I was skipping. I was
I
in
can't
college.
imagine
I was
you being
skipping
somebody's
class.
doctor.
I was skipping class. I wasn't even going to class. At one point, I was like, "All right, is it I drop out of school or find something else to do?" And I remember, like when I was younger, I used to break my dad's computer apart and like
Tinker with it,
try to see how it works. I was like, "Okay." I talked to my counselor. It's like, "All right, try cybersecurity." That's how I got into it. And I did my undergrad in computer engineering. Luckily, I passed because there was a lot of Africans in my school, and we all like just grouped up and worked together. But if I didn't have that group of people, I probably wouldn't have graduated college.
Really? But you know what's funny? I was reading some a while back and saying it was comparing like all the ooh, that word be kicking my butt sometimes. Ethnicities. And what they do in school, and they was finding out like the people who study together, they all tend to do better because you can cover for what somebody else don't know, and y'all can learn it together.
It's always a good
We
time
was just
to
talking
form
about
a
that,
bond.
having that community.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's how it
it
was
is
for me.
important.
My
so
hardest class I
important.
took in school was quantitative analysis.
Right.
That sounds interesting.
It's just a fancy term for statistics.
I was just going to say,
okay.
no, that sounds like statistics part 2.
Yeah, it sounds like an advanced
Yeah.
statistics.
It was, like,
I was
all I
like, wait,
remember is,
hold
like-
on.
And that was the hardest class for me, too. And I probably got a C or a D.
I got a C.
Is that in college or in high school?
In college.
In college?
I
Okay.
didn't have any problem with math classes. It was mostly the ones that had like deep reading. Then I don't like reading too much sometimes, so it just gets tiring. Even work, if they send you an email that's too long, I'd rather read the short email that has all the details than read the long, wordy email. Because, come on now.
Yeah.
I have a
I don't think I
question.
remember it was like
Go
X
ahead.
bar. And funny enough, we studied together. I knew all the stuff, but I was putting my symbols wrong and I was getting the question wrong.
Really?
Yeah, so like if it was, let's say it's supposed to be 5, I was putting -5. So I worked it one type of way and got something out of whack. I was like, I knew this stuff. I was like, I knew all these things. I had all these like freaking
math
crap. written
is
down
one
on-
of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be
Math.
careful with your signs.
When did y'all start taking life seriously?
Like, in what sense?
So, like, I'll give my brief story.
Okay.
So, you know, you're in high school, right?
Yeah.
You like, yeah, I'm going to college, but like, what are you doing to get there? So I took a college tour at my dream school, and they were like,
Which
yeah,
one?
what's your...
Which was, yeah.
It was Grand Valley State University. It's in Michigan.
Okay.
And so they were like,
That's actually a good question.
What, not Michigan State?
no, I would have flunked. If I would have went to a D1, a big school like that, I would have
You
absolutely
would've,
flunked.
why?
Girl, I would have been partying.
Oh, girl.
I would have not been going. If the campus was too big, I was this school is kind of smaller compared to Michigan State and the U of M. But
Girl, it would be a good time, though. It would be a good
but
time.
I took the tour and they were like admissions was like, yeah, what's your GPA? And I was like, yeah, it's like a 2.8. It's like a 2.8. And they were like, girl, you just not getting in here.
Reject.
And so that was my wake up call. That was my wake up call. And I was just like, oh my God, what do they mean I'm not going to get in? And so after that, I got all A's
Yeah.
to bring my I think I graduated with a 3.2. But that was hard.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's when I started getting serious about life. That's
Yeah.
immediately when I was like, wow, I didn't know you
were supposed to be.
I don't even know what I wasn't
Yeah.
not doing my work at all. I just wasn't really putting my all into it.
I think mine was when I moved in with myself in my own apartment. I said, I got to pay my bills now. So then I started working. I was just trying to, like, you know, when you start a job, you just want to make sure you don't get fired. So when I started working, I was just making sure I learned everything because I want to make sure I stay hired. So Ever since I started working, this life has been serious for me.
To be
I
honest.
got to pay my own bills. As you're getting older, you're acquiring more, so you got to make sure you're able to take care of yourself.
I'd probably say from college. I mean, really before college, to be honest. Just from having blue-collar parents and the kids and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be like this when I get older. So,
That's true.
I'm going to get out of here and take it seriously. So serious that I thought I was going to be an architect. So,
Oh,
Like an
nice.
architect, like
Basically, you kind of
building?
an architect.
like
Yeah.
drafting out.
yeah, because I took wood shop and welding in college. I mean, high school. So I was like, okay, cool. I know I made me a little, what's the thing called? A shelf. I made a shelf. I made a yard sign. I made a rolling pin, you know, from my grandma. I
Why'd
used
you-
a lathe
Why'd you stop?
because I'm not that exceptional at drawing, and I didn't want to. First of all, I was in pre-architecture, so my grades weren't even the best I needed to be to start. Now I was going to take all these drafting classes. They used to the architects and like the interior design people used to always have to like pretty much sleep inside that building because they were so busy. Then I looked up what their salary start off with. I said, I'm not doing all that work to get what a person who was here that barely did stuff make that amount of money. So I said, I'm not doing all that work to like get out and make like 40K. Let me go do my first little. Let me go find some computers. And I had this. It's on my YouTube, but it's a map. I mean, not a map, but like a sheet that shows like different salaries based on the job. I was like, okay, cool. Because back then I was like, if I could just make 80K, I think I'd be straight.
Back then it was straight 80K, 70K. Like when I first got in the field.
It's still something today because a lot of people ain't making that.
That is true.
That's still something, and that's a lot of people's starting points when they're breaking out and first starting.
But I was thinking about like just how I used to rack my brain around it because you got to think about it at the
Same.
time. From where I was from, houses is cheap in Shreveport, so
Same.
you can get probably a 4-bed house, probably like for right now, probably still for like $220, $250 maybe.
And you're also thinking about yourself. Yeah, so back now, I don't think your family wasn't there yet, right?
I thought about, it, but I've always had this thing. Some people don't even know this, but I like look at people. I used to try to judge what I thought they made per year. And I just look at their car.
That's funny.
I would see what their profession is. I'm like, okay, I think they probably
I
paying
think everybody did
ties.
something different.
It's like it was. I guess you could call it pocket watching.
Oh, yeah.
It went to me on pocket. I just always been like fascinated to see if I like was
So you can learn from them.
if I was right on par with like what I thought people was making per year. And I never told people this. If I was like to see some people I used to do it to, like as I was like a teenager, and I was like, yeah. I was like, because one of my friends, they dad. His dad was like had a PhD. I forgot what he actually did. Then his wife was a lawyer. So I was like, okay, yeah, they got money. They had the house that was on the outskirts of the city when they moved here from New Orleans. So I was like, I know they got some good bread. So I would always say, okay, cool. They probably 2, 3 maybe.
And also, that pocket watching thing you said could help you make some smart decisions. Imagine someone's trying to sell you on some bullshit now, and you just pocket watch, you just read their whole and you tell the line. At that point, you can help yourself out too.
Yeah, I can always tell who's trying to convince me and versus who actually got it.
Of course.
And I think it's important for you to also be, because I think me and you have talked about this before. You don't know about these other things if your family hasn't exposed you, or if you don't have people in your family that do these things, like project management, being in cybersecurity in itself, being in tech. If you're not exposed, you don't ever consider that as a career. If you never did a workshop, if you never were interested, if you never did a summer camp, if you never got any exposure to it, that's even off limits for you to even think about that.
What would y'all say are the? I'm sorry, I'm pivoting.
No, you good.
Into another space, but like, what would y'all say are the highest paid careers in cybersecurity?
I don't know.
Like, if you want to
you
make,
know what?
It's based on experience.
It
too,
doesn't
though.
make any sense to me anymore.
Experience, industry, expertise. It depends because.
but you know, certain. Okay, go ahead, finish.
No, I'm saying like for example, like me and my boy was talking earlier. Was talking about Tavion. And Tavion's been talking about the late stage startups and like the different money they have out there. To where I think I seen him something that was paying $2 something. It's like, yeah, they want a lot of work and that's a little too low. I'm talking to people now that's paying. You got jobs that's offering for his expertise. No less than $250,000 base.
What's how long has he been in the space for?
Probably almost about as long as me. We both met each other. Let me get in the mic. We both met each other at McAfee. So I met him back in 17, and so he was actually interning at the time. To where the next year he actually started full time, and so around about the same time, and he had a lot of internships, so a lot of experience, and he has a lot of things on his brag sheet. So I would say depending on expertise, because I've seen some GRC roles that's paying a lot. I've seen them, like that's like in the 2s and 3s.
You know, something I could add to that is anything new. Like AI right now is new. Anything that is new and is hot, they don't have the workforce for it, so they throwing out crazy money out there. Like an AI engineer right now could be making 200 plus. A cloud security is DevOps. Anything that is new and is
Anything.
I think it's brilliant for the folks right now who I am seeing who are getting their masters or PhDs in AI, setting yourself up for success, for sure.
You're doing what is going to be needed later.
Yep.
And I just think if you already just got expertise, you can still pivot. Like
For
the
sure.
things that I think about, like our episode that we did before this, where we are talking about all these different use case scenarios for AI biases, and it's the LLM poison and the hacked, and how do we prevent that? That's literally finna be a new like SecOps AI type of like stuff you're gonna be.
And you have to
monitoring
develop
for.
new technologies that can monitor those things, because it's not the same.
Yeah.
And a lot of organization nowadays focusing on shadow AI. That's one thing that companies are trying to get their hands up and get the people who have experience protecting the company from shadow AI. So,
Hold on, we say
And
what do you mean by
also-
shadow AI?
so there's a lot of people using, AI is used a lot in the workforce nowadays, and a lot of people don't talk about it because it's not something that's heavily spoken about. But people are grabbing data and putting in those AI, like ChatGPT.
Company data?
Gemini, company data, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
As you're doing that, your data is being exposed to platforms that you don't have control over. So
Yes.
there's a lot of controls on how AI should be used in your company, what data is going, how data is exfiltrated.
There you go, exfiltrated.
Exfiltrated in your company and all those things. So one thing I'm actually working on right now is designing a framework to help a company protect from shadow AI. So I just know that it's a hot field right now. All companies are trying to get their hands on it.
Yeah, so and that's where you got your GRC, then your insider threat, insider risk people. They're gonna stand to make big money from it, because a lot of companies. You can't put that information like on the computer. However, this is something I've brought up to people. And while I like technology and I don't, I don't need to copy the stuff from my computer. I could take a picture of it with the iPhone and copy it. You see what I'm saying? So
Security is not.
Yeah.
No, that's the truth.
Insider
of it. That's the
threat.
truth of the matter.
Insider threat is also a thing, because
Insider threat.
you could do all the security, perimeter security that you can do, but at the end of the day, someone with a phone.
But data
Yeah.
security and AI are going to become well versed and merged together.
Yes.
Even prompts, the prompts that people are
Yeah.
running, you can run a malicious prompt, right?
yeah, of course.
So you need to have eyes on
And
the
I think I've
prompts
seen
that your
people-
users are running while they're at work.
That's true. That's something else that because a lot of people are getting this different. That's something that just came out new. I saw it in the news recently. What was it again? People downloading this different script from ChatGPT.
Yep, and then plugging it into.
Exactly, and it's giving them error. There's a word for it. I can't think of it right now, but it's something that is really heavily talked about right now, that they are seeing.
And you can tell. You can tell when the script was written by ChatGPT and Gemini and these other tools.
Yeah, you can tell. You can definitely
Just like
tell.
you can tell when someone's post.
Yeah, it's
What's
ChatGPT.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You can
It got them dashes.
Dashes.
It got them dashes.
take out the dashes.
I had a dude help him when he was
Take out the
working on
dashes.
a way to like
And then
pretty
it's
much
like so-
negotiate his salary, and I said take out the dashes.
The dashes. I used to leave them in at first. I thought it made me look articulate, but then I was like, whoa.
No, they use too
They
many.
know that I don't talk like this.
And they use too many.
Yeah, that's,
Yes,
They use
dash
way
this,
too
dash
many.
this, that. Like,
Yeah.
stop.
I got another question
is-
for everyone. Maybe
Yeah.
you could
Go
answer.
ahead.
What do you guys see as the problem with using ChatGPT, and not ChatGPT, but just AI in general in this nowadays? What's the big problem that you see with using ChatGPT or AI?
bias.
I think it get biases, but let's go a step further. It's removing the capability for people to learn how to think logically.
Yeah, critical
learn how to
thinking.
formulate your thoughts.
Yes.
Now, for people who already know how to do that, it helps. But if you don't, okay, maybe some, throw it in here, boom.
Yeah.
Now you have even AI products trying to say, hey, we're not detectable by AI, just to sell people because they advertising as college kids. Like,
No, that's the problem right there. Is what it's doing. as a college student, you can use it to benefit you, but you can also use it to hinder you. And I'm seeing a lot of students do that. Instead of doing the discussion, ChatGPT wrote the discussion for
But
them.
honestly, discussions,
Papers.
I feel like papers use your brain, but discussions, I really don't understand why they even assign discussions. I don't want to discuss this with my fellow students.
And then like must be X amount of characters.
No, it'd be like comment on two people.
You remember
Like,
Chegg?
that's a lazy assignment anyway, so I
Chegg
will
from
use
back in the days?
ChatGPT for
You
it.
remember Chegg from back in the days?
Where you used to review.
Not review, but you could ask questions, help you write your
You said
assignments.
check.
Check.
Oh,
Chegg.
Chegg.
Yes.
Chegg,
I feel
Chegg
like,
helped us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Chegg?
I've gotten a tutor through Chegg before. I'm
they-
sure they're out of business. I mean, they're
they
still
incorporated
in
AI?
business. They're
So-
still in business, but I'm sure they're
I haven't
not
been on there
booming
in a
like they
while.
were when we was in school.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, while we're still on the topic of AI, like I went to TechCrunch because I was like, it gotta be something crazy out here that I hadn't seen this week because I've been so busy. And this is an article that came out today. It said famed AI researcher launches controversial startup to replace all humans workers everywhere.
Oh my god.
It's going on
That's
in China
just-
already.
that's just too far.
China has dark factories. It's called dark factories, basically where the light is not turned on currently, and they're basically running everything with robotics and AI. So if it's eventually going to happen in some field, but
I've seen advertisements when they're like, hire robots to do your job. Like,
Yeah, the
basically
AI
don't
agents
use
and all
humans.
that stuff.
Yeah.
what is Elon Musk? Elon Musk is working on something like
We
that.
were talking about that. We were talking about that earlier. But the company's called Mechanize, a startup whose founder
in the United States.
and nonprofit AI research organization he founded called Ep.5 is being skewered on X after he announced it. I think I seen this on X where somebody was saying they're trying to replace everybody.
I don't think everybody could be replaced because human intervention is heavily needed.
Human touch, human emotions.
One thing I will say too
But it
is
wouldn't-
AI lacks context. Like, it doesn't have context. Like, whenever you give it a prompt, if you want to get the best results or for it to actually solve a problem for you correctly, you have to give it context. Like, I am a this living in da 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 da.
Yeah,
But
like,
now they changed it. ChatGPT remembers all.
Oh, it has the memory.
Yeah, it has memory.
I mean, it has memory, yes, but it still doesn't have context as to like our situation right now. Like,
Okay,
if
what's
we were
going
to,
on?
Yeah.
like,
Data.
even right now, if we wanted it to solve a problem for our filming right now, we would have to overly
Give it information.
Yeah, we have to.
But
So it doesn't have.
It's the different levels of prompting because the average person is writing probably not even a 100 level prompt. It's probably a 50 level prompt. But to get the data that you're looking for, that's a 300, 400 level prompt. That's why prompt engineering is such a powerful thing because if you know how to talk to it, like you said,
Yeah.
it's going to give you what
Shout
you
out
need.
to
Yeah,
prompt
you have to
engineering.
know how to talk to your AI assistant.
I'm gonna plug ourselves in quickly.
Prompt engineers?
No, I'm gonna say prompt engineering because we're using it to create our AI application that is coming out
yeah.
soon. By the way,
Okay.
just giving a little bit of ourselves.
Yeah.
Working on an application to help you optimize your resume, and we fully developed between HackerProof. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got a company that will be coming on, I think, next month.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. I've seen what they can do in the back end. So
Really?
they do a lot of B2B stuff
Okay.
with their product, which if you want to be real as a career coach, though I see the benefits of AI, what is happening sometimes is it's just recycling everything that's on the internet.
that's basically what it is because it needs that history. So it's pulling. So
There's nothing new.
A lot of these people, but that's because a lot of people are fabricating their experience. So you're able to tell that they use AI to make their resume. I had a consult with a dude, resume full of AI. I looked at the job description and I said, so when these people ask you, hey, tell me about your, your current day to day. He said, yeah, I be stumbling on that. I said, I can tell.
But again, he didn't do the work. He have to go back and make sure that he knows. Because I feel like if your AI is going to replace your resume, the way we're building it is that, let's say, for example, you put the job description in and say, hey, based on this job description, change my bulletin points on the role that I have to make it match what they're asking for, right? And there should be like a checkbox that you have to click, say, I'm aware of everything on this job description. Before you go.
But they still could be lying even when they hit the checkbox.
Well, at that point, they're the one lying.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that the people. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to shortcut, so it really won't work anyway. And then you got to think about if everybody's doing the same prompt, how many of these resumes are going to show up as the same in a work day or
I
something
feel
else?
like that's probably what's
ATS,
harming the
application tracking
job
system
industry.
Go ahead,
too.
sorry, Vicky.
I said I think that's also what's harming the job industry as well. It's like recruiters are getting the same copy paste
That plus
resumes, and it's making it harder for people that probably actually have the right
experience.
Exactly.
But I feel like you're easily spotted in the interview because you can't talk to it.
That's the big problem. That's the biggest problem.
You can be a poor interviewer, but you can still talk to it. But when you can't talk to it at all,
exactly, that's when you get caught.
Well, that and there's some stuff just don't match up when I'm just looking at the job title and what's on like.
It's like there's no way you did all this.
I can imagine how it looks. I can imagine.
Yeah.
See, I gotta give you access to the platform, so you just take a look and maybe give us your input.
Okay. Speaking of while she's searching something, how you feel about Google acquiring Wiz?
I use Wiz a lot
I do
because
too.
on
My
the
favorite.
cloud security posture management. That's one of the.
I would have to let you hear, but I was in the interview the other day, and I might even cut this out. I don't know. And we was talking because the person I was talking to, I would essentially be taking their role, and they was asking about my cloud experience, whatever. And I said, yeah, and we use Wiz a lot for why. I said, man, I love Wiz. I was like, yeah, I use Wiz because it shows me this in a good graphical format, and I'm able to make an enhanced decision like this, whatever. And then we was like, he was loving everything I was saying, but I was like, I always big up Wiz, like for real, because like I used Prisma before that.
Prisma Cloud.
I heard it was not good.
Prisma Cloud is okay.
It's okay, but
I
it's
like
not
Wiz.
like Wiz.
Yeah.
Wiz seemed like it was built by people that actually worked in the cloud, did security, did vulnerability management.
Yep.
And it was. But the crazy thing is, only 5 years old, 32 billion.
Does it tell you
No, but
about
every company
has
is using this.
value.
On the Gartner report is #1 for cloud security posture management.
Yeah, but I'm saying the fact that it was able to scale that fast in 5 years, it's the Stripe of cloud computing type of software.
Because it has so much value, like to what you guys are saying.
It does, and it's all based on Wiz framework, but they have different frameworks that you could plug into.
Yeah, and you can do it like based on like you said different frameworks, and this pretty much works with like anything you got.
Any cloud service, the plugin, the integration is crazy. They have so many integrations.
Oh my gosh!
And they have integrations with SaaS security products. They have integration with even your Confluence that has like your full suite of what's the word
policies and RFCs and whatnot. Or
You're probably right. I don't know the word.
You know, it's
for
funny.
it.
I have a guy. I forgot what his name is. They actually reached out to me. They have a platform that's similar to that, and I feel like they're going to get some market share because I think Wiz going to get to the point where certain companies can't afford it.
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
Wiz is pricey.
I think it's affordable
comparable.
because I think it made more sense for companies to use over Prisma. Because all these companies do is like Palo Alto will get it, slap their name on it, and try to upcharge it.
Or if they have a product that is similar, they try to
Because
just.
Splunk did the same thing to Phantom. Like Phantom was cool before it got acquired by Splunk, and then Splunk Phantom, and then stuff started changing. Now surprisingly, XOR is still good.
XOR
That's
is
Palo Alto. They took it was Cortex, and then they bought it, and then it's Palo Alto Cortex X.
security orchestration,
Automation
remediation.
response.
Yeah.
So it's just a SOAR platform.
Okay.
So
Did y'all see what happened with MITRE?
Okay. So what is that all about? Is it that the United States are not sponsoring the CV program anymore, or is MITRE?
I don't think it was the U.S. initially. I think it was MITRE who was funding it, and then they were like, no, I think they had a contract.
Okay.
They had a contract. It expired, and then they were basically like, yeah, we ain't gonna be maintaining the vulnerabilities no more.
Yeah.
And then people started thinking about how troublesome that was.
Yep.
But the government recently, I think 3 days ago,
with CISA, right?
Yes.
Did CISA come out and say they're gonna help?
Yep. And then they established something else after that to basically ensure that they'll be able to be maintained. Because think about it. We all is in security in some way, shape, or form. Think about how terrible that would be.
Yeah, but
if you don't even know what to look for.
that's true. I think European. I read about it also. Europeans they saw that what was happening with MITRE and CVEs.
Reached out.
They basically created their own EU CVE.
And the EU, they got it down packed.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
we need to look to them
Really?
for guidance on how to get it together over here.
Wow. I don't really know too
They
much
just
about
value
that.
data privacy and security a lot more in
and they've
Europe.
been doing it.
With
for a
Everybody
while.
does except us.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
everybody want the data.
Yeah, data is currency here, so it's like
That is
no.
I think we talked about it on one of our shows.
Yeah, if data is more valuable than gold, like it's a currency here, so it's not going to be protected like that.
So I'm gonna read a post that I made on my LinkedIn, and I want you to chime in on it because it's about. I'll give context about why I made the post.
Okay.
And I was having a consultation with a young lady who has a DevOps background, but she was struggling to get any type of callbacks in any interviews in cybersecurity. And I looked over her resume. I seen that she did a fantastic project with like a hospital or something for either grad school. And I said, okay, send me the link of the latest job you applied to, and then match up. So I said, let me show you what you actually applied to. I was like, all these GRC roles, all these vulnerability management roles. You know these frameworks and know all this stuff. You can do it. And I said, you are also technical. It should be a breeze. And so that made me make this post. I said, in my opinion, it benefits you to be somewhat technical when looking to pivot into GRC versus having no technical acumen whatsoever. Oftentimes, GRC is touted as the easiest way to get into cybersecurity that doesn't require a lot of experience, yet the people that are looking to get in without the experience still struggle to get in. Meanwhile, the people with some technical experience often pivot to a GRC role faster due to their understanding of the technology behind policy
100%.
controls. And I had a big poll. I said, is GRC truly non-technical? 16% said yes, 34% said no, 50% said a bit of both.
So my take on this is you have to know the technical. Like, if you want to be an excellent GRC analyst, if you want to be someone that's average, like that sorry to say average, but someone that won't be good at their job, basically, because keep in mind, you're talking to engineers, technical people day in and day out, and they know when you don't know your stuff too. And they, I like to say, like, I feel like engineers and DevOps people are like the more snarky, the more snarky part of security, and they like to kind of challenge you or test
they know what they're doing.
Thank you. And so how are you going to go in there and, like, let's say we're prepping for FedRAMP or SOC or whatever it is, and you're going to go in there and tell them, like, hey, I've done an assessment, I realize these are the gaps. And how are you going to communicate those gaps or know that it's a gap if you're not technical? Like, that's why if you want to be good at your job and be good at your job and keep the job, you need to get technical. I had to learn that the hard way. Like, you really do. I had to learn that the hard way.
I can even add on to that. I was doing, back then when I was in charge of Intune and just managing.
No, what's Intune?
You don't know?
I know what it is.
Endpoint management. It's the endpoint management solution by Microsoft. It's on their part of their suite. So if you have the Ep.5 license, I think it's the Ep.5 license.
You can use it for mobile devices.
Mobile device, laptops. You can even replace group policy. I've seen organizations that are no longer using group policy on premise, are using the endpoint management solution, Intune, as their group policy. But I had going back to GRC, because we're on GRC. I had one of my old places that I worked at. So I was working on GRC, right? And Intune. And the GRC person is in charge of creating the standard for how those configurations should be made. And she was asking me so many questions. I'm the technical one at that point. She was asking me so many questions. And at this point, I was like, looking, why is she asking me all these questions? I don't feel like she even knows how to do her job. So I feel like what you're saying there, they said that when someone from GRC is coming to you and, like, don't have that knowledge, it makes it seem like, from a technical perspective, like, why you coming to me and asking me things you don't know? You
lose respect. You lose respect amongst your peers.
You do.
And you get left behind, and they don't trust you to do your job.
They don't want to interact with you anymore.
Exactly, because everybody wants to talk to someone that's technically, if you're in a technical field, you want to talk to someone that's technically sound. If you're in a medical field, you want to talk to someone that's medically sound. Like, regardless if they're a this or that, you want them to have some kind of knowing of what's going on. And so if you're going to come into GRC thinking that I'm just going to come and just write policies and renew policies and change the date, that's like the rhetoric I hear. You're going to change the date on a policy and whatnot. Good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
Go ahead.
That's what people are doing. They don't want to put the work in. They want to come over to the tech industry, cyber industry. They want to get the bag, but they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to learn. They don't want to struggle.
You have to.
They don't want to do any of it. They just want to hit the ground running, doing mediocre things because they're scared to dive into the things that are difficult.
And it makes you better at your job.
Yeah, we just put this out there already. If you're going to go into tech, you need to learn, because every day things are changing. So what you be doing today is not the same thing you'll be doing tomorrow. So
facts. In 2017, I wasn't thinking about no AI, no AI governance, no deep fakes, no how many phishing things we going to have from that, or somebody impersonating the CEO.
QR codes.
Yeah, we weren't thinking about that. Now look at it.
And we're not thinking about something that's coming out in the next 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah, like, for instance, when I was a GRC analyst at a law firm, it wasn't that technical. It was, I would say, also depending on, like, what company you work for.
Thank
you. It was not that technical. I just had to do the I would say the bare minimum, but I didn't have to know so much to get by and to do my job and to coordinate audits. However, working at a software company, a technical software company that has a cloud infrastructure, that has a physical product and then we work with we have government customers, and we're integrating to so many different platforms. You're gonna have to know your technical stuff. Yeah,
I think that's what anywhere though, because you'll see somebody get hired, like I'll ping somebody on the side, like, hey, they not training them at all. Like, what are they doing all day?
But people also just don't even try to use their critical thinking skills. They will come ask you the question first before they come to you and say, hey, this is what I think.
It depends on what department, though. If you're like GRC, I also caught you guys some slack because, again, you guys are involved in creating the framework and the governance policy and standard that most of these tool sets are using. So you might not be technically enough to write code.
Because we're not using the tools themselves. We just know what it should be, but we don't know how you guys are actually using the tool and what. So we need to understand so we can kind of make we can fit it for what we are.
I think it should be like better training than onboarding.
True, but I agree with that.
To be honest, what company really have a great onboarding for?
Hey, listen.
No, that's a fact. Onboarding is, they try, right? They'll onboard you to the culture of the company. But it is difficult. It is very difficult to onboard someone because a lot of the times they don't have time for the documentation.
Exactly.
They don't have time for the step-by-step.
Exactly.
They don't have time to create the rhetoric that you can use as a guide. You don't have time.
Yeah, because honestly, to your point, I think like, for instance, a GRC analyst, like a good onboarding would have been to have a round of interviews, but a round of intros with the different teams, understanding the different tools that the different teams use, like an hour sync with vuln management, hour sync with DevOps, just something to kind of give us insight.
Here it goes. So with experience, when I did the GRC role, I was already years into my career. I already knew that when I get here, I need to schedule these meetings with all these different stakeholders to figure out what they do and how our interactions will go. Yeah. So if I have a question, I need to go to them.
That would be a good service to create.
That's a playbook.
Helping someone onboard their first 90 days in tech, just making sure you understand what they're doing.
Yeah, I did do that. I kind of made a thing for the softwares I have to get access to, so you can make it more really a CM request or something like that, so you can everybody can get it at once versus individually submitting all the stuff, which takes forever. Make a package. This is the GRC, whatever VP package, and give them all this access.
Exactly, because I always have to ask for. And then also one thing about the access too is I think some companies, because that it comes with a cost too. There's a cost stipulation with that, because if I have to ask for access to Wiz, they might have to purchase an extra license.
They might have no licenses,
and they may just want me to be a bystander and just let us tell you what to do.
Or they could just make a shared account that you guys can access.
That plus IAM is improving heavily. SailPoint is a tool that a lot of organizations should be using, because with just the right group, you grant access to that individual for everything that they need.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. I had to get a certain access to check out certain things to ServiceNow. Like if I didn't have the auto access, I wouldn't be able to view nothing. And anybody who worked in security operations or IR, as simple as it sounds, ServiceNow come in clutch when you're trying to figure out what it is on the network. Like for real. So
interesting.
One thing I want to put out there is that there's a lot of myths. My accent is kicking in. Sorry, Victoria, you might have to help me say that one.
Okay, which one is it?
There's a lot of myth with cloud security.
Myth.
MYTH.
Oh, myth.
Sorry, guys.
Myth. It's okay.
So
I might have to use that for the intro.
There's a lot of meats.
There's a lot of meats.
I thought you said meat too.
This accent.
I'm hungry.
So what are some of those myths for cloud security? Because she's in the cloud space. You could be in the cloud space too, because you know a lot of cloud.
I mean, I see some of the stuff, I guess, about I was probably throw something in there about Kubernetes or something.
Kubernetes? Okay. I can say, she's the architect.
I'm trying to think about a myth.
I think people get scared of cloud in general.
I think that
you gotta know how to code.
I think that you have to have a degree. You need to know how to code. I think it's also a myth that you need to be an expert at everything in the cloud, and that is idiotic. Everybody has their own role, and exactly. So I think that's a myth, that you need to learn the whole AWS platform, the whole Azure platform. That's not how it works.
Trust me, everyone is learning everything as the project is coming along. That's something people don't say a lot. I know a lot of people want to sit here and sound like they know everything.
Think about it, bro. They told us one day in the STO, hey, 3 weeks we moving away from Prisma. Y'all need to learn how to use Wiz.
The change management there is outrageous. Outrageous.
3 weeks?
Well, no, they had already, so I don't want to say like that. They had been testing proof of concept.
Okay.
But I'm saying as far as end user wise, using it,
Yeah.
y'all need to figure it out.
Yeah,
And it's
easy.
easy for y'all to have rejected that because it wasn't provided to you in a way.
Shoot, ain't no rejection.
Well, no, but you can reject change. It's not that you can change it, but it's
who's
still
paying the
gonna
bills?
come.
It's who's paying the bills, and sometimes the contract could be Prisma Carbon probably got more expensive than Wiz.
And less useful.
Okay, see, there you
But
go.
so they didn't give y'all any training.
There's not really any training on
Training.
Wiz. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. The change management was terrible there. They was supposed to, in a way, baby step you. But again, like
can
he
tell
said,
you.
companies are
They
not.
ready to
no.
get trained.
But
Yeah.
again, like he said, if there was a contract thing and the contract was expiring here and they just got approval or word that we can use this, we don't have to renew. But still,
Well,
ideally,
those training could be those POCs, proof of concepts, those sessions that you have with the onboarding team from Wiz. That's basically training you get. But beside that, you have to go in there, and as you're playing with it, even the new tool that I just started using recently is called Intros for non-human identity management, secrets and passwords that are open everywhere. And basically, there's no training. It's there. Go in there, start remediating risks, remediating incidents, and that's how you learn. Usually, you start learning from doing. So one thing about tech, like we said, cloud security, that you have to know everything. To this day, I don't even know half of what is in the cloud. I'm still learning as I'm doing new projects. So
Yeah.
You only have one brain. The cloud is so vast.
but that's like it
Oh my
is. If
goodness.
that's how you're approaching studying to be in the cloud, you'll never make it because you should not be trying to learn
Everything.
every single
So
different.
then, what is a
Mistake.
good playbook
Yeah, and when
for
I see
learning the cloud?
stuff in the cloud, it's normally like they're explaining like, hey, we got to do this, we got to remove this key, yada yada yada. We're doing this, so they already over explaining like, hey, everything that they have to do. So I'm like, cool. But I did have something that I found on X because I bookmarked it because I said I knew I wanted to talk about it on the pod. It's a tweet. Some guy said, I don't know, he took it from an engineering manager, but it said from an engineering manager at a full remote company.
Okay.
In quotes, we just fired an engineer after 15 days on the job who lacked basic skills on the job, but aced the interview, clearly using cheat tools. He admitted to how he did it. He used I Ask, ChatGPT, and interview coder throughout.
see, that's something you should never. How you gonna
It's a
admit?
thread. Let me see what else it says. I personally talked with this person and know them well. This company hired full remote without issue for years. This is the first proper shocker they have. They are changing their process, of course. In-person interviews, in part, likely to be unavoidable.
That's good. People who don't really know how to interview are the people who are gonna suffer from that. But initially, you shouldn't really. If someone catches you on the job and you tell them exactly everything you did,
Whoa.
Wait, what is the context here? So he got the job and he did exceptional in the interview, but
Yeah.
when they saw
15
how
days
he,
later,
When rubber met the road,
oh, okay,
it wasn't going straight.
so like they gave him something hard to do and he couldn't figure
maybe
it
not.
out.
No,
Just a
he could do basic
yeah,
tasks.
common basic tasks. Like basic tasks, probably like.
My thing is, why do you have the audacity to even want to go put a company yourself at risk?
Oh, because
Wait, so he just willingly
So
said that
he knew he wasn't skilled. He used AI to cheat his way through the interview process, got the job, and got embarrassed because he couldn't do basic things.
so
oh
see those
sorry, he
videos
couldn't
all
do
the time.
basic
Those videos
things and that's
online.
how he got caught.
yeah, no, watch.
Okay, I just
No,
didn't understand.
you ain't never seen them TikTok interview
I
questions?
was just about to say, I've seen TikTok videos of people who are interviewing, and there's like this little thing on the side, and
Transcript.
it's listening, and it's telling them exactly what to say.
But it's easy to figure out somebody's cheating too. The issue, the flaw in that, if they were able to use tools, is you're giving them Googleable scenarios that the AI can figure out. The thing is, you got to give them something
That's
like-
not super typical.
Yeah, like,
yeah, like unique problems to your company.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing
Yeah.
nowadays is that interviews are conversational. It's not really.
Technical.
I think it
It's
depends.
technical, but then again, if you're someone who's experienced and you go into that interview, having that conversation, but as they're mentioning their tool sets that they're using, you're able to talk about it and give them
Yeah.
ideas.
I think it has to do on, and it's the reason why I said they had to revamp who they get to interview, because some people is out to just dissect your resume and make you do bad. Other people actually want to have a conversation and see if you understand the stuff you use and how could you actually help our company. The latter is normally the better, but there are people that start asking you even super technical stuff that really is not pertinent to your
They
job.
don't even know it themselves.
No, the stuff that you can Google. So it's like, you ask me this, even if I don't know it now, I can find it because if I could just Google it. Ask me about something that y'all dealt with, or have I dealt with something similar at a job? What would I do, and what did I do in that instance, and how, like, you know, problem areas you got. Like,
Right,
if you
values.
ask those things, that's a better inclination of what I would do like on the job versus, hey, tell me what happens when you type in google.com.
Yeah, or tell me about a time you solved a problem.
There's no time to go.
Okay.
I think with the interviews, like the second one you described, I feel like that was one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Conversational ones?
No, where they looked at my resume and was like, all right, let's talk about what you have here.
Because you speak to it.
Let's talk about what you have here and see if you know.
Actually, no.
Do you know it or not?
Yeah,
but
again,
what he's
But
saying
that's how you know that they take it serious at the company. They're not just gonna hire you because you can answer. Tell me about a difficult time. They didn't ask me that. That was not one of the questions at all.
maybe a good blend of both, like grill my resume, but also like tailor questions.
conversational?
Yeah, or like ask me how I would solve a problem that you're facing right now, because that's when you know you're hiring a quality candidate. Like,
I only get grilled in like certain things. It's probably because they've probably been burned a lot, but like some of the stuff don't make sense. But like, I'm more an advocate of give me, like, I had a process, and she knows about it, where I pretty much went to the end where they gave me a scenario and I knocked it out of the park because I had like an hour to finish it, and it was cool. It was like you were working like a incident response for AWS, and it was like, hey, how would you figure this out? What would you do here? What would you do here, dude? I was like,
Guard
okay.
duty?
It was like, cool. I was like, yeah, that cloud. What detections was you implement? I'll use guard duty, cloud trail, this stuff. Like, so I was like, that's how you show I know how to do it. Cause like,
you actually going into steps on things that you use.
yeah. So and that was better. Say, hey, they saw your stuff. They want to talk to you.
I think it would be wise for them to think about, whoever said it, asking questions about the stuff that you're struggling with, because I've seen roles be posted for 6 months or longer. The same role keeps getting posted and posted. You're not telling the candidates what you need to weed it out.
Exactly. You're giving us a generic job description of what a GRC analyst is. Okay, well, I'm going to show up as that, but like, what are you facing? What do you need? Like, be specific about. We need someone that knows how to do state ramp. We need someone who's like be specific about what you want us.
You want to go?
Her point on ghost roles. Why do you think companies post positions they don't plan on hiring for?
They have to, legally.
Well, they have to too, but when they want to flex, they want to give the impression that they're growing.
Is that what's happening?
No, that's, if you look it up, that's why that's what they do. They want to act like they're like growing and stuff is happening, so they can, like, especially if they're like trying to get funding, act like they're advocating so they get more funding. Yeah, we're growing the business.
That's how you get funded?
If you can show you got more workforce, you can take on more work.
Okay. I didn't know, because there's a lot of people applying to that are having a hard time finding jobs due to the fact that there's a lot of ghost roles out there too. A majority of the roles that you see 1,000 people apply to, none of them got a response.
I agree, but I also think there's a lot of people who are qualified because folks have been laid off for the last 4 years.
True.
So
Big
you
tech
have
laying off.
these same people who are qualified going against people who are also qualified, and the only reason they got let go was just because we're cutting costs.
I got a hot take. Some of them not qualified. They've been at their job so long that they're not
I agree
qualified
with
no
you.
more.
Some
But
boomers.
Secondly, like a job search tip for anybody is that when you're talking and you're in the screening interview, one, you need to be strategic about it. You need to get in like answers or ask questions about what their problem areas are. So write those down. Literally write them down so you can remember them, so you can prepare for them if you go to the second round. Two, you need to ask them verbatim, hey, what is the hiring manager actually looking for? Not what's on that job description, because we know that's a lot of BS. What they actually need.
Yeah.
Or, hey, if you don't know right now, could you get back with me and see what they say?
Yeah.
That is going to make you stand out. I tell my students all the time, you need to be thinking about what makes me better than the next candidate, what's going to make me stand out. Because if you think you're just going to come to class and do what we talk about and work on in class and be successful, you go somewhere else.
Okay. So the things you're teaching in class, do you also let your students know that this might not be what you're seeing exactly
Yes.
in your day? Okay. Right.
Yes, and I set financial expectations with them as well.
Okay.
They're like, I'm finna make 6 figures. Buddy, a lot of people aren't even making 6 figures.
Yeah.
They put on like they might be, they want to, but that's not the reality of what's going on today. So
Yeah.
I'm probably way more honest than a lot of instructors.
good.
As you
It's
should
good.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
And then also I'm honest with people too about like the timing. I feel like people think I'm just gonna start applying today, and by next week I'm gonna be a 6-figure tech. Because like all the like rhetoric that's online, I get so mad when I see.
You can make $1 million taking
Oh
this
my
boot camp.
gosh!
Boot camp
Oh my
culture.
god!
Listen.
I hate that culture. Like, it's just you're scamming people.
Listen.
You're scamming people. It's not fair.
I did I talked to some high schoolers for.
I'm sorry. It just frustrates me so much.
It got her hot. It got her tight. But no,
Because I see it when I'm scrolling. I'm like, you're lying. I see 1,000 likes, 1,000 comments.
No,
people
and-
are just falling for
no,
it. I'm
and
like,
people
you're
take out
scamming
loans,
people.
and people-
Yes, people are taking out loans.
That's something we can talk about later. I'll let you guys continue the conversation, but
no, mine was gonna be short. It was like because y'all actually had them come on the show. New Course, a nonprofit in Chicago. Ramala, and I think her. The other person with the nonprofit is Keena. I think I'm saying her name right. I hope I ain't butchering it. But they're pretty cool. Ramala used to do Salesforce. I think she still does do it. But funny enough, they introduced me to talk to the high schoolers. Guess what the high schooler asked me?
What? How much you make?
Am I a millionaire?
Oh, look. Oh.
So it's funny. I said no, but I said I do have some friends that
Yeah.
have experience that's been also making other investments and making money
Yeah.
from other ways
Yes.
that have $1 million net worth.
It's another high schoolers that think they're going to take a 3-week course
But
and
wait,
become a
what is the
millionaire.
cause of
Okay.
that? I have an idea
Social
what the
media.
It's flex culture. There's a lot of flexing now.
Yeah.
And people are just showing you
The
nice
lifestyle. The lifestyle.
Yeah, like look
the
at me.
lifestyle.
I'm a
the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I was to ever do flex culture, they'd be like, oh, well, I'll be like, yeah, I've been doing this 15, 20 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I built
It's not
this
like
up.
I got in last year
Yeah.
and I made this number that's not real up so I can get you to do the affiliates to
Yeah.
boot camps I did so I can start studying more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you guys think that all this courses from the flex culture saying, hey, take this course and you just get into the field is hurting the market?
It is.
I don't know
Listen.
I don't know yes, but some of them are actually helping people. A lot of them are not.
And if you have
Yes.
to go out to take out a loan for $35,000 or who knows how much.
And I know people
10,000.
that did. There's a 30,000.
We don't want to ruin potential clients for the future, but
Yeah.
if you're taking out a loan for $30,000, $35,000,
Just like, okay.
Hold
so-
on, you gotta either you text it to me because they know I ain't got no problem talking about them, and like I'll tell you to your face if I don't believe that. Like I'm a person. Like if I bring you on, I just had the RPA episode, and I was asking them questions like, "Hey,
That's fair.
I'm like, my people know who I bring on here. It's like, what do you say? Like, what's your success stories? Or think you capping? Like, I ask them things because
As you should.
they need to feel like I don't want them to ever feel like I'm just bringing people on just to sell to them.
Yeah.
I know someone that, I'm not going to say name, but they're promoting themselves like they were in cybersecurity and made fortunes from cybersecurity, but that's not really their start.
A lot of people
I'm not
are
shocked.
doing that. A lot of people.
We always know.
It's the power of
Who's
social
who?
media.
Yeah, and okay, so the reason why I'm frustrated with this is because I just see like moms, like
Taking out loans.
just like people that should not be in doing those type of things that are desperate, like a desperate mom that just
'Cause
wants to
everyone
make
wants that lifestyle.
Yeah, like someone that just wants a better lifestyle, a better income. Go take out a loan and take your course, knowing that you cannot guarantee them that job at
3
by the end of
months,
the
they don't
6
have a job, they're crying.
They're
looking for
crying.
someone else.
Then they go that because people have come up. People have reached. So just yesterday, somebody reached out to me saying that they've been bamboozled by so many boot camps and stuff like that, and they just want someone to generally help them. And I'm like,
Speaking of,
It's
why haven't I got
frustrating.
y'all an affiliate link?
I've done a.
Get it. We should
Right?
get one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one because I was like, I got the affiliate links because I run into that like all the time. Is like, listen, if you can't afford my program with Klarna Afterpay, then that means it's not the time for you to do it yet.
okay,
I run into a lot of people like that. And honestly, I'll tell them sometimes, you ain't got enough skills yet. Come back when you did this and this. Unless
That's
you
fair.
just want to get coaching and like the other advice I have for you that's going to take you far to keep you accountable on this roadmap, by all means. Because I've worked with people with like no background from construction to get to be a cloud engineer, working at the airport to get
It
that
could
first
happen.
IT job.
It's-
it can, but I tell them in the beginning, I was like, hey, I ain't going to give you a time frame. It's realistic. but it could take some time.
It can take some time. That's the realistic story.
I don't think boot camp culture needs to be canceled. I think people need to really do their research, and if you have someone that you can reach out to who's already in the field, reach out to them and ask them, do you think that this is going to be worth the investment that they're asking
and
for?
I think the boot camps just to stop lying to people. Just stop lying to people and be realistic.
Make a good point. Go ahead.
I gotta no, you go ahead because I got a challenge for the audience.
Okay.
Audience, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a. Is this boot camp a scam? Boot camp. Hold on. Is this boot camp a scam video?
Okay.
So I'm gonna have the links to send us messages or ask us questions on voicemail, and we're gonna do about 3 or 4 boot camps that you guys have seen that has outrageous offers and claims. You give us the information. I'll go look it up. We'll review it, and I'll actually just show it like, hey, no, I don't believe this.
Yeah.
And I think those boot camps,
I like that challenge.
Whatever knowledge they get from those boot camps, you can get it from a free mentorship service. If you, like you said, if you know someone in the field, and that person is willing to help you, have those.
But let's see where they got to be willing.
No, what I said is they should take the boot camp, whatever website, and send it to that person and say, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think this is worth $3K?
Yeah, y'all can do that
Do you
for
think
me
this
too.
is an investment? Do you think this is a good investment for me?
Yeah.
Because there are some folks who have programs that are going on that are actually helping people land. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people who are getting on the internet saying you can make 6 figures in 30 days.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you see someone heavily promoting you can make 6 figures in 7 days, they're trying to scale.
And it's an ad.
If they're running an ad on Instagram. If they're running an ad on Instagram and it says, I will guarantee you a 6-figure job, chances are they probably helped 1 or 2 people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where they got the confidence to do that. But they're not being you're over promising and they're under delivering because not everybody's gonna get a 6-figure job.
6 figures in Monopoly money.
Do you know how long it take people to get to 6 figures? Okay. Skilled people.
Look at him say, man, I don't want to say what I know.
And also, if you have questions about GRC, I'm a open resource.
Exactly.
Like,
Nikki,
reach out to us.
Oh, by the way, we have a free mentorship service that we host on GroupMe. This monthly, we have it on AI, cloud security, GRC, SOC analyst, and so much on. So if you're looking to get free mentorship without relying on those boot camps.
Yeah, if you just want someone to give you
link in our bio.
Yeah. We're having a session in May.
He's having one in May for GRC, and I'm also having one with Camby, who's part of HackerProof for cloud security, and one of our partner, Prince, is having one for AI. So if you're interested in AI, he's a AI manager at Microsoft, so he has a lot to say and a lot to give. So join our bootcamp. I mean,
we'll give you guys a link for the GroupMe so that they can sign up for the mentorship.
Yep. I don't know how the posting is going to go, but
I mean, we'll probably have different stuff on the descriptions.
No problem, but just to help people.
I did a boot camp before.
Or y'all can join the Discord and put it in the Discord.
Yeah, we'll do it too.
I did a boot camp before.
You've hosted one?
No, I've been in a boot camp.
Okay, what was your experience?
I learned a lot, but it was not for me.
Okay.
I learned a lot.
Can I ask what course it was for?
It was for A+ and IT support, and that's what I
don't think a boot camp is needed for that.
Yeah.
Listen. It was not, but everything I learned there definitely helped propel me.
Okay.
It's like everything started making sense. I don't feel like things would make as much sense to me if I didn't have that as a foundation. Just how does it even
shameless
work?
plug.
It was an informative course. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say shameless plug. You can do the IT course at Course Careers, or you can check out KF Tech and do his course
free?
on Udemy.
No, Udemy is not free.
Course Careers course, they have like a free trial you can go through, but it's not free. But I tell people, if you're trying to get into IT, I have a much better success record of telling people to go do that because you're going to get a program. I mean, not a program. A project to do and learn actually just some fundamental IT support skills and that you can actually start interviewing versus you studied the A+, but you just got an A+, but you don't know how to do anything because you didn't do anything.
Okay. And we did do a lot of labs. We did a ton of different labs.
Okay, that's good. So it was informative.
It was definitely informative, but then one day I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do IT support.
Okay.
And I was thirsty at the time. I was thirsty to get exposed to something to try to help me,
IT support is actually the way I got started, but it's also good because if you're someone who don't really have that tech knowledge, it's a good baseline to start from. I won't lie, because it gets you that technical understanding of mostly everything, because you're working with IT support is basically working with all different teams to make sure you're doing their level 1 support for whatever they're doing. So IT support taught me a lot in cloud security. So I won't lie, people who are looking to get straight into the field and just start making a difference, you might have to start with a help desk role. That's something that might be your only route.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I work with a lot of IT professionals who have that's probably mid-level in their career, and it's much easier for us to pivot in the cyber than the people with no experience.
It's true.
I'm very honest with that. I have sysadmins come to me all the time. So you've been doing security engineering,
and they can easily make that transition.
Mm-hmm. I just had a guy,
but they don't
just
know.
went from that. He was funny enough. He was doing sysadmin stuff and security engineer stuff at a law firm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and now he's working remote, being a security engineer for this company that does something for credit unions.
Okay.
I gotta ask you guys this. You think that remote lifestyle is eventually gonna go away?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
How come?
I think it will go away at most companies maybe, but the companies who figured it out and who trust their employees and who are still progressing and growing, no.
Okay.
I think it
costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's still here to stay. I think the other companies, they are smarter and just investment and realizing, hey, work requires flexibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, certain people with certain experience will still be able to be remote because, hey, why do they need to come in?
Yeah, and
you limit yourself to talent if you're going to focus on certain cities.
Just Houston, just Dallas, you get to now have somebody in France and Europe and China, Tokyo.
I never even thought about that.
France
doing American work.
Yeah, my company we have people that work in Europe.
Is global.
It's a global company.
Okay, but sometimes
I get what you were saying. Yeah.
Sorry. What was he saying?
I think he was thinking it's just a U.S. only company.
There's no need for you to have that relationship with someone.
Okay. But if it's a global company, you can hire talent from anywhere.
My companies, they're staying remote.
Yeah, those remote. I think after COVID is when that remote change happened for a lot of companies, and it's been amazing. It's allowed us to focus. We're not working in company time, but just allowed us to focus on building our own brand and just doing things for our own self. Because when you work out in the office, you go in the office at 7, you start driving to the office maybe at 7, get there at 8. By the time you leave, you hit traffic at 5, 5:30. You're in traffic 6:30, 7.
The whole day.
And by the time you get home, you're tired. You don't even want to do nothing else.
Don't even mention if you're in a place like Houston or Dallas.
Don't have kids.
You got to leave.
And you have to come home and be a parent and a spouse.
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah, sports. Picking them up.
If you stay out here in Houston, you waking up super early just to make sure.
Huh? No, Houston.
Houston. I thought you said if you stay out here in...
I was saying if you stay in Houston or Dallas,
traffic.
Traffic's so bad, you got to wake up early to make sure you're there. And then when you hit the bad traffic, you've been out the house about 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you still got to get home and try to spend time.
And maintain your household.
It's exhausting.
Maintain your household.
Yeah, so thank God for remote work.
Yeah, because jobs rarely pay you enough to stay close to the job.
Yeah.
That part right there.
But one thing I do notice is that a lot of people that work remotely, their chance for promotion is...
Dale?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, when we talked about that. When Dale was basically come into office or don't.
Yep.
And then if you don't, you're not
going
to get promoted.
A lot of companies
but
taking that blueprint.
a lot of people are like, well, fine, I don't care.
Because that remote...
Look, I'll go stay where the cost of living is super cheap. I don't care about getting promoted.
Yeah. But not everybody would. Some people would care about getting promoted.
Yeah.
But I think we all somewhere comfortable in our career right now that... It won't. I don't care about getting promoted. Yeah.
And I think with remote work, I realized something is because you're not in the office, you don't get to be in everyone's face all the time. It's kind of like social media where you have to make your presence known somehow at work, making
visibility.
It's like you have to go the extra mile now to be in people's faces. Like
you're doing more work.
Yeah,
I do miss that component.
Of you're just already
being able to turn around and say, hey, didn't last week you have a scenario with so-and-so? Or
exactly.
Remember we were talking, it does
there was more FaceTime.
Because now you have to schedule time to talk to that person.
Yeah, it's like, let me put time on your calendar. It's not quick and you have to find time on the calendar.
If it's someone on your team, I feel like if you guys have a open like a friendly relationship, you can easily just ping that person.
Oh, yeah.
Say, hey,
but they could be busy and probably can't get to you.
That's
yeah.
What we used to do when we first started at Opta was we just had like a Teams chat stay open all day. So if you ever need a question, you just jump on there. Hey, y'all working on this? So technically, that's one of the ways you can do it.
I actually like that idea. Just a call that's going all day, and if you just want to pop in and feel
like a running meeting.
Yeah, like you feel like you're there with someone.
You can go pop in anytime you want to.
Was this someone that said that? They said that would you rather work remotely and have like be on a meeting all day where you have to have your face on camera?
No, you don't have to have your face on camera for this.
Okay, you don't have to have your face on camera.
No, it's just voice.
It's just there.
Unless you just want to be and show people you like your haircut or your makeup.
Okay, I got something else. Since everybody works remotely, right? How do you guys feel about those instances that when you get on a call and they want you to show your face on every call?
I don't like to do it every call.
I don't like to do it every call, but it is important to show your face when needed.
When needed.
Yeah.
But
like for team meetings, meeting with your management, meeting with your teammates,
certain
your
incidents
friends.
I may do it for a little while,
Yeah.
so you know I'm there, but I don't lie. I got my avatar down pack on Teams. My avatar be in a meeting.
You did the AI.
Yeah, I like
enhancement?
avatar.
I don't mind coming on,
people.
but like I do. I might be this close.
Depends.
I might be this close to the screen.
If I'm
sometimes.
engaged in a meeting, I'm cool. But if it's not really pertaining to me, my attention span will start making me do elsewhere. I get sleepy. I'm like, you don't need to see that. Let me just
yawning.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could be eating, or you could have a shirt on that you don't want to show on.
They get them cardboard cutouts of themselves and just sit in front of the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't catch them?
But now, they got the AI deepfake tools. So you can make your own AI deepfake.
Y'all don't mess up remote work for us.
They already have.
They
already have because they was cleaning up, sleeping, cooking, not at home.
Interviewing for other people.
Yeah.
People that put that on social media, the one ruin everything.
You ruin
for sure.
Why you putting that kind of information online? And even though it's a joke, why would you want to put that online and create that perception that people are not working?
I don't mind the jokes, but when you actually like doing it, like, cause you know what I'm saying, I had sometimes where I, like my lunch, it might have been a little longer. I got a massage, you know what I'm saying. My team was a little flexible, you know what I'm saying. We all cool. I'd be like, hey, I'm finna go get my haircut. I'll be back. All right, like we was cool.
You have your rapport.
I wasn't on TikTok. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, working. Finna go get a haircut while I'm in the middle of the day. No,
because it's. That can come across as taking advantage.
Imagine the CEO of a company seeing that, or the CIO seeing that.
Exactly.
You're done. Yeah. I think a lot of them lost their jobs during that period too when they were doing that.
We've been recording for a while now. This conversation just keeps going.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of people they end up getting fired. A lot of them already weren't qualified to do jobs. All the big companies was just taking talent so the other people couldn't hire them. So that came into play. It's only been a handful of people that took advantage over the last 5 years that's really actually built themselves a career out of all this.
And I feel like remote work is what you make it.
And if you don't want to be remote, you can co-work.
Yep.
I co-work all the time. And if you don't
like a good co-working, cute little spot.
If you don't want to co-work, talk to your manager. Say, hey, I want to come to wherever you at, headquarters or whatever, for a week. Like, let get your corporate card and let them fly you out there.
It's good to always show face, so they know, hey, this guy is actually still
here. Ain't nothing like a good work trip. Try to go stay in the most expensive room you can. You know what I'm saying?
Unlimited budget.
Listen, when I went to Splunk Conf on the company dime, I ate good all the time off that company card. I'm talking about I ate what's my spot I like? The little brunch spot. They got one right by the Galleria too, and they got one by our Galleria. Oh, I can't think of the name of it.
Spot by the Galleria.
It's good. It's outside of brunch. They do lunch and what's called too. It's oh no, I cannot think of it.
What's up? I don't know.
It's good though. I can't think of the name, but it's really good, and I like eating it. I just don't never stop at it here because it's always a lot of people at the Galleria, and I hate dealing with like waiting. I'd rather go in the middle of the day with nobody there.
Yeah. What is something that you guys are working on? Whether that's
let's plug ourselves in now. Which camera do we look at?
Your camera.
This camera. All right, Vicky, let's talk.
No, somebody go first.
All right, let's talk about Tech Mixer. We're taking it all US. Is that global? That's not global. All US wide. We're doing Tech Mixers all year. The next one we have is in June in Atlanta, and when is this video coming out again?
Want to make sure it'll probably come out in a couple of weeks, to be honest.
Okay, we're doing one in June, and we are collaborating with TechGiving, Tech is the Wave, and Foster, which are two big organizations in Atlanta, and TechGiving. Everybody know them, of course. So look forward to that. Jungle Gym.
Yeah,
Crossing my
I'm
fingers.
really excited about
It's
that.
coming in Houston. We're trying to help people actually get that knowledge that they need, that technical knowledge. AI, cloud security, just different space in tech. That should be, by God's grace, our first conference is HackerproofHQ. And just look forward to more interesting podcasts from us. And Vic, you want to talk about the mentorship session?
Yeah, so the mentorship session is something that we just started. Kempi and Daniel just had their first one.
Good turnout. So
great
appreciate
turnout.
you guys are coming in to learn.
Yes, thank you guys for showing up. If you are somebody that doesn't have someone that they can call to ask about what is GRC, what is cloud security, you don't have resources or someone you can call, this is a great place for you to sign up. Come on to our Zoom meetings. I'm doing mine in May. I'm going to set the date and let everybody know. But come on, where I'm going to tell you about. Okay, so what is what the reality is of what this?
Look forward to the date in the description. We'll have it in the description of what date we have all our mentorship session.
Okay.
So if you're someone who doesn't really have that
Yeah, someone that doesn't have a mentor. You're good.
Take it back.
Someone that doesn't have a mentor, this is a free resource, a free Zoom class where we're going to be the mentor for you in that session. And I'm going to just tell you the real about what I do, what are the different things that you've heard of SOC 2, you've heard of ISO, you've heard of this, but you don't really know what it looks like, what it entails. It's a place for you to come see it, ask questions, raw. Like I said, I want to be as honest and as helpful as possible to people. So this is a great space for you to come do that. So tell a friend, and
and finally, I know we've plugged ourselves too much. This is the last one. We have a AI application coming out soon. It's to help you optimize your resume. We've been working on it for months now, and basically helps you optimize your resume. Bring all jobs from all the job boards into our platform so you can easily apply from there is through API integration. And we also help you be successful in the first 90 days of your job by providing you tips, who to reach out to, and just things you need to do to make sure you're successful. So if you want to join the waiting list to try it out, link is on our website. Just click on it, put in your email, put in your name, and you'll be notified once it comes out.
We're trying to help, guys. This is all just trying to help.
Yeah, we're a helpful platform.
Yeah, just trying to help. Yeah, because there's a lot of bluff.
And I'm going to say also, they will be doing a pop the balloon at that tech mixer in Atlanta.
We probably should.
So if you're trying to find your love, your next love, your tech B,
come find them. Come
through.
Come pop your balloon.
Come through.
And,
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I was asking, what new skill set are you guys trying to learn, if any?
no, they're trying to do they shameless plug.
But shameless plug it up. But what, are there any new trends, skills, things that you're interested in doing? Maybe something you don't do on a day-to-day that you're interested in?
Yeah, I'm trying to, I do Kubernetes a little bit, but I'm trying to get more deep into it. Just know exactly. Know exactly how it works up and down, know how the cluster works, how the nodes work, how to integrate with the QCT. Sorry, is it QCT?
I think so.
How to interact with that and just gain more knowledge in that, because I think being in the cloud space and knowing how Kubernetes works is a good combination.
Yeah. Personally, I've always been fascinated by the cloud. Honestly, even though I'm a GRC analyst, I only get to understand it, but not really work in it, not really know what's going on. And it's always been cloud. I really love cloud.
Come to our next session.
Yeah, honestly, I just love cloud engineers, architects, all of you guys. I just think what you do is so incredible. So I'm actually taking an AWS cloud. What's the cloud practitioner certification course right now to dive deeper in it. That's my first step to really getting a sound. Foundation on it. And then that's how I wanted to ask you, what's a good playbook for someone that isn't in the cloud but would like to dive into it, because that's platform, where I am
AWS,
right now.
Right?
Yes, AWS.
I got 2 courses you could probably do on Udemy. I did a video on passing it 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember.
You had one on there?
Yeah.
Oh,
if you're talking about how to pass cloud practitioner, I did one.
Okay, I bought this. I'm gonna show you after the call. I'm gonna show you who I'm watching right now. But let me know which one you do.
Stefan, Merrick, and somebody else. They really good, and they always update their material.
Okay, yeah, I need to know who to actually follow.
We just actually did some actual official Amazon AWS training at work, like security engineering training. It was pretty cool. The dude talked a lot, but it was cool. He definitely let us hear yourself talk.
You know the best training is when they have us do stuff. I feel like that's when I learn the most.
Yeah, we had to. I learned how to use like Amazon KMS and Macy, and we were setting policies and for like S3 buckets on like who can upload and what.
So the policy. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a JSON kind of like template that you edit, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we're doing that type of stuff, and we got some stuff on the way with some live GRC. Hey. Ask Me Anything video.
Oh, nice. Invite me on there. I want to come to chat. GRC. Yeah.
I don't know if you're on. Are you on X, Twitter?
I am. I just don't. I can log in through our HackerProof platform.
Yeah,
okay. No, I can do it through. I could get to you through Kyrie because Kyrie's supposed to be on that too.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring
he's
me
the only
on.
person that hasn't been on the channel. The other two people have actually been on the show already. So we had some really good GRC episodes, and people always want to know about it.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna host it and say, hey, ask away. So it'll be a live format, and it'll be something that live on forever.
I just did one like 2 weeks ago. I really like those type of forums because it helps dispel like lies and myths, and people get to actually get the real answers.
Gist.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we got CyberShortiee over there.
CyberShortiee, tell us what you got going on.
I don't want to
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I can't remember if we ever congratulated you on getting your certification.
Which one?
I got the SE100.
SE100.
It's the Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect Expert.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What are you not? You're everything at this point.
I am planning to get back into my content back because I had to really hone in and focus in on some things and get some things solidified. But for me, I actually want to do more. I want to put stuff together. Okay. So I've been looking to figure out what I want to do with a couple Raspberry Pis. I've been saying for like the last few years that I want to make a smart mirror, but I think I want to make a cybersecurity news feed using a Raspberry Pi, just like a little small mirror, something that I can have
like
the feed just kind of like
okay,
loop
look at you.
like an RSS feed or something similar like that. But yeah, I want to get more into building things that I can talk about what I did, so that people can kind of use these as templates or
I want to start doing that too. Yeah, templates and guides and playbooks. Yeah, that'll be really good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm working on. I'm working on a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, we need another hour.
Content. I got. I'm reframing a lot of stuff I'm doing with the coaching business. So you guys be on the lookout. You're gonna be seeing a lot more market research emails from me and different type of posts for that. We finally got a team working on the back end of it. So we are taking it to the next level. And I also got some content. I found out through the market research that a lot of the guys that watch the channel are still trying to get into tech. So I'm probably going to start making some more how to get in or what would I do, that type of content for you guys because you're still lost. And I'm trying to find you.
Right.
Do you guys consider cybersecurity to be under tech? Because I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It's encompassed of it because you use a lot of tech with it. You just got to keep it secure.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is... How do they follow y'all like on all platforms?
We have a link tree. So the link tree has our Instagram, our TikTok, our basically everything in there.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter.
Oh, our own personal profile.
I'm saying, what about the people who just are driving in their car and they're not on YouTube, so they need.
We available on Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify. So if you want to listen to our podcast on the go, hey.
How do you spell it?
HackerproofHQ.
No, but I'm thinking about the people that's listening. They don't see that.
Yeah. Okay. HackerproofHQ. Victoria, your accent is more clear than mine. So if I say hey, just say what is that?
Okay, HackerProof. HackerProofHQ. One word.
That's multiple words.
Well, it's multiple words grouped together though. We like in our aliases. Well, they're spelled differently on different aliases.
Actually, she said it right. I'm just facing around.
If you need to say okay, so like on our Instagram it's one word. I think on our YouTube it's probably different. So if you type in the one word, it doesn't pop up. Separate the HQ or so that's what it is for those listening.
Okay. And then you got any personal profiles, or y'all want to?
I don't care about giving out my personal.
Shameless plug. I'm a shamelessly plug myself. As y'all know, my name is VZ. Well, my alter ego. So on Instagram, it's callme_VZ, VEEZY. Yeah, you'll see my like travel side, tech side, the other side of myself.
I'm just a support. My page is a support page for HackerProof. So if you follow HackerProof, you see what I post. So nothing really.
What about your TikTok?
Like I'm trying to hide this TikTok.
My TikTok is supposed to be my own personal safe space. I don't care about people following me there. If people find me there, they find me there. But I don't really care about plugging myself because what we are pushing is HackerProof. So I'm just gonna use HackerProof as a brand and just have that in general. But follow HackerProof and you know all you need to know about us in tech.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You'll see everything we have, the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My personal profile is a joke, so I don't.
Yeah.
And how do they follow CyberShortiee?
Yeah.
I am mostly on Instagram and YouTube. So CyberShortiee, CYBERSHORTIEEE.
Hey,
So 3
let's get
E's
it.
in
Let me follow
CyberShortiee.
you right now.
Yes. So yeah, that's how you can find me, and I'm also on YouTube as well.
And she's eventually coming to Threads.
Thread?
I just.
Yeah.
It's less intrusive than X, and it connects us to so many people locally. That's why I like using it.
Okay.
You know, there's a thing that you could do now on X that said connect me to this, and it actually works. I tried it recently, and I just typed in connect me with people in tech, and like 20 people liked it. I don't even go on X. I was like, oh, I might be on it now.
And follow me. Everything is really, well, two ways. You either go follow the podcast or find it anywhere at the Techual Talk. And Techual is TECHTUAL.
I love that name.
The Techual Talk. You can go to techualtalk.com, or you can find us anywhere the podcast streamers. And if you want to follow like me, you can just find me everywhere at Techual Chatter. That's one word. So Techual spelled the same way. Chatter is together. And you can pretty much find that across like all platforms: Threads, Instagram, not LinkedIn, but
Not LinkedIn?
X. I mean, on LinkedIn, you know, it's my name.
Okay.
Henry Davis, HENRI Davis. You can find me on there. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, leave me a note when you follow me. If not, I will not accept you because I have like close to like 1,000 invitations just sitting there because I don't know who y'all are. So
Someone's popular.
that's been throughout the years, but I mean, I'm at close to like 35,000 followers now on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm trying to
Someone's
get up
popular.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah.
Who's closing it out? You closing it out?
No,
you got it. We'll let you guys have it. You guys, we came to your city, so go ahead and
No, I
close
was
it
gonna
out.
say until next time.
Yeah.
Stay textual.
Hey.
And stay hacker proof.
Hey, let's get it.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yep.